we will begin in child's pose. Bringing our big toes to touch and nestling our torso in between our thighs. Stretching our arms to the top of the mat. Our forehead can also meet the mat here. And just lay here, gathering your breath. We'll take one inhale. Exhale, open mouth, sigh it out. Another inhale. Exhale, open mouth, sigh it out. Another inhale. Take another sip. Exhale, open mouth, sigh it out, release. And then begin to launch yourselves forward into a upward facing dog. And what we'll do is go back and forth between upward facing dog and child's pose at your own pace. Shoulders are lifted and broad, as well as your chest. And then launch backwards to child's pose. Upward facing dog. Feet are flat on the ground. Child's pose. Do 2 more at your own pace. And we'll meet in tabletop, where we will stack our shoulders over our wrist and our hips over our knees. And get grounded here. Spine and neck are also in neutral, and we're keeping our core engaged. And then we'll move into some cat-cows. So cat, we're going to dome our spine. Inhale, cow pose. Exhale, cat. Inhale, cow. Broaden the belly. Exhale, cat. Inhale, cow. Take a few more at your own pace. Whatever you need here. We'll then meet back in tabletop pose, and we will tuck our toes underneath our feet, and then we will lift our knees about 1 inch above the ground for beast pose. So we're just bringing more heat into our body. Take awareness of your breath. Don't forget to breathe. We're also protracting our shoulders. And then exhale, downward facing dog. Sits bones are upward, putting most of our weight in the triads of our hands here. And since this is our first downward facing dog of the day for this class, we will pedal our feet. Stretch out those calf muscles. And then raise, if you'd like, do a scorpion dog, stack hip over hip. making sure we're balancing our sides. And then we'll tiptoe to the top of our mat. Baby steps here. And we'll just fold here for ragdoll pose. You can grab opposite elbows and just let yourself hang. Or you can nod your head yes, or shake your head no, to give your neck more of a release. You can also create an interlace with your hands behind you and let yourself fold. And it's perfectly okay. It's actually encouraged to bend your legs here and let your thighs meet your stomach to give you the full benefits of this stretch. Gently release without slingshotting. And then we will rise up vertebrae by vertebrae till our crown is the last to rise up. Urdhva Hastasana, circle sweep our arms. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Hands to shins, spine is in neutral, core is engaged. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift once more. Exhale, chaturanga, step back into plank. We'll move 2 inches forward, chaturanga our arms. Upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Now that we've established our sun A's, we'll go ahead and take 4 more rounds to continue to warm up our body. Inhale, rise to your toes. Exhale, step, hop, travel to the top of your mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, rise, Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, step back into plank. Chaturanga Dandasana, 90-degree bend. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Big inhale. Exhale, release. Inhale, rise to your toes. Exhale, step, hop, travel to the top of your mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, get big, Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, forward fold, release. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, rise to your toes. Exhale, step, hop, travel to the top of your mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Last one. Inhale. Exhale, open mouth, sigh it out. Inhale, rise to your toes. Exhale, step, hop, travel to the top of your mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. All right. We'll move into our flow now. Inhale, rise to your toes. Exhale, step, hop, travel to the top of your mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, rise, chair pose. Utkatasana. And so we'll keep a bend in our knees. Our feet are close together as well as our thighs are zipped. For lower back pain, you can modify by keeping your feet spread hip width distance apart should you need it. Going to lower our shoulders below our ears. Our pinkies are dialed towards each other and our arms are right over our ears as well. And just see if you can sink lower just a little bit and then tuck in your tailbone, keeping your core engaged to help you stay balanced. Have a few more breaths here. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Chaturanga Dandasana, take your flow. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Going to lift up the right leg for three-legged dog. And we're going to step that right leg through between our hands for high crescent. Our back foot is spiked up on our mat and our hips are parallel. We're going to raise up here. Shoulders are stacked over your hips, and so they should be aligned, and your palms are facing towards one another. All right. All right, I'm going to cactus our arms, and we are going to squat. So 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, release. And then we'll create a mini back bend behind us with an interlace. And then we'll begin to launch forward for perch pose. To gain some stability, keep planting both hands at the top of your mat. We'll then begin to raise our left leg behind us for standing L. And if you like to stay here and practice your balance, you're more than welcome to, but we'll also begin to pulse for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bring it back to perch pose. And we'll begin to lower our left leg for low lunge. So still keeping the same stacked shoulders over hips, a bend in our knee on our right leg to stretch out our hamstring, and we're just pressing forward. And then we're going to release backwards for half split. And if you guys seen in the other videos, I love the dynamic movement of going forward for low lunge and then backwards for half split. So you can take that as well. Coming back into a low lunge, we will then spike up on the back of our feet and swinging our arms backwards for flying crescent. Leaning forward as a 45-degree bend. Imagine like you're carrying a beach ball behind you for flying crescent. Still keeping your chest is facing forward, but you're still lengthening yourself. So see if you can lengthen yourself just a little bit more over your thigh. And then exhale, warrior 2. And we're having strong arms. And then we're going to face forward. Inhale for goddess pose. And what we're going to do now is going to squat. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We'll meet our hands at prayer center and we'll pulse for 5. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Big movement here. Blocks are optional underneath you. Skandasana to the back of the mat. Keeping our left leg flat and our right leg extended and flexed. And our hands in prayer center, or they can be raised. however you like. And then low runner's lunge to the front of the mat. So a 90-degree bend with the right leg, keeping the back left leg spiked up. Hips are parallel, so no wobbly movement. Imagine a block on top of you. And then we'll release into our flow. Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. You can grab water here, take a few breaths. You're doing amazing. I'm actually going to go on this side so you guys can see me when we do the left. All right. Okay. Back in downward facing dog. Inhale, rise to your toes. Exhale, step, hop, travel to the top of your mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, rise for chair pose, Uttanasana. Tuck in your tailbone. Zip your thighs and ankles together. Chest is lifted. Pinkies are dialed in. See if you can sink a little bit lower. Challenge yourself a little bit more on this side. We don't have long. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, upward facing. Exhale, downward facing. Okay. Going to lift up that left leg now for three-legged dog. Foot is flexed, hips are parallel and square to the mat. Step that left foot through for high crescent and rise up. Pinkies are still dialed into one another. Your back right foot is spiked. You're keeping that 90-degree bend here with your left leg. Going to cactus our arms again and squat for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And then bringing our arms behind us for a mini back bend. And then release and launch forward into perch pose. Planting our hands firmly on the mat, our right knee meeting the back of our left knee. Here. Then we will begin to raise the right leg here. And just like the other side, if you just stayed here and just practice balancing, this is perfect. But we'll go ahead and pulse if you'd like for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Back into perch pose and then lower into low lunge. Still keeping that alignment from your shoulders to your hips. Raise forward. Lift up. And deepen. Exhale, launch backwards for half split. Do the dynamic movements for 2 more rounds. And we'll end up back in low lunge. Making sure our right foot is behind us, is spiked up. We'll then spike up and swing our arms backwards for flying crescent. Keeping that 45-degree bend here and holding that beach ball, working our triceps with holding it up. See if you can extend and lengthen. Then exhale, warrior 2 at the back or top of your mat, whichever where you are. Still keeping that foot arch alignment. The right foot is parallel to the back of your mat, and then the left foot is facing forward. And then inhale, transition into goddess pose. And then we will move forward for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bring our hands into prayer center and pulse for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Skandasana to the back of your mat. You're more than welcome to use a block under here, keeping that right foot flat on your mat and your left foot extended and flexed. Go forward to the front of your mat for low runner's lunge, keeping that 90-degree bend. Chaturanga Dandasana, take your flow. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. We'll then move on to our cool down section. So you can grab some water here, but we'll begin to slow the pace. We'll meet in lizard lunge. So we'll take our left leg here, since we kind of did some work, more work on our legs than we did. So I'm gonna continue to kind of stretch that out with our hamstrings. For our lizard lunge, we will essentially meet in a low lunge like how we did for the flow, but instead we'll meet our hands and arms to the mat so that our leg still keeps that shape, and we'll just rest here. Left leg is lying flat, and we'll hold. We'll have 2 more breaths. And release. Then we'll do the same with our left side, bringing our left leg up for lizard's lunge. And then we will place our arms on the mat here and just rest in between. Rest our chest in between our arms and hold. And this is okay too. Like if you're up here, you're still getting the benefits of the stretch within your hamstrings. This is perfectly okay. Have 2 more breaths. And release slowly. We'll then thread the needle. So, coming into a tabletop stance, we will take our right arm to the sky and thread it underneath our left arm here and begin to lie down on our mat. You can box out your left arm here, or you can even take it further with the bind behind you. Have 2 more breaths. Release. Begin to raise the left arm and nestle it under your right arm. You can still keep it boxed out, or you can do a bind as well. Two more breaths. Release. We'll then end up on our backs now. And grabbing the outsides of our feet, do a happy baby. Pressing on our heels, our knees just outside of our armpits, rolling back and forth. And then we'll slowly release our hands, as well as our feet, our arms. Letting everything dangle and fall where it needs to fall, or where it wants to fall. Deepening our breaths. Your palms can be raised to the sky or on the mat or the ground for more grounding energy. Let your shoulders sink in. Unclench your jaw. Let everything get heavy here for Shavasana. Begin to bring awareness back to your body. Roll out your ankles and wrists. Begin to stretch north and south with your feet and arms. Give yourself a big hug. And roll to your favorite side within fetal position. Take one moment here. You got through lower body sculpt. Yay. And we'll begin to rise up into seated pose. Circle sweep your arms. Bring them back into heart center. The highest good in me honors, sees, and believes in the highest good in you. Thank you so much for flowing with me today for lower body sculpt. I really enjoyed myself. I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Namaste.